They think you're all love and light. A message intended for you, the chosen ones who walk between worlds. You are never just one thing. They look at you and see peace. They hear your voice and feel warmth. They watch you move through the world and assume gentleness, softness, kindness, light. And while all of that is true, they have no idea what you carry. They don't know the shadows you've stared down, the demons you've danced with, the wounds you've transmuted, the rage you've tamed, the darkness you've befriended, not out of desire, but out of necessity. They think you're all love and light. But the ones who walk with the light the strongest are the ones who walked through hell to earn it. Please like, subscribe, and comment below so we know you're here and connected to Source. Light without shadow is incomplete. What they don't understand is that you are whole, not half, not naive, not floating on clouds of spiritual delusion. You are a balance. You are both frequency and force. You are peace and power. You are compassion and correction. You are the healer and the warrior. The truth is, you're not just light. You're light that remembers darkness intimately. You don't fear it. You've lived through it. You don't pretend everything is always love and light. You choose to embody that frequency because you've seen what happens when you don't. You were trained in darkness for a reason. Most lightworkers didn't grow up in soft environments. You weren't handed comfort. You were handed chaos and taught to find the calm within it. You were handed trauma and taught to alchemize it into truth. You were handed betrayal and taught to forgive, to detach, to rebuild stronger. Your light didn't come from luxury. It came from survival. You are who you are because you crawled through places no soul should have had to go. And you remembered who you were anyway. That's why your love is so powerful. It's not performative. It's earned. That's why your peace radiates so deeply. Because you've been at war internally and externally. And you chose to be a lighthouse rather than a storm. They think you're soft until they see your shadow. You are calm, but not to be mistaken for weak. You are kind, but not a doormat. You are forgiving, but not foolish. They forget. You carry both sword and scroll. You heal and you reveal. You comfort and you correct. You don't seek conflict, but you're never afraid to face it. You don't live in your shadow, but you've learned to wield it. Because when you are backed into a corner, when energy comes for you uninvited, when someone tests your boundaries, when darkness tries to rise against the mission, you know how to call on the dark without becoming it. You become the mirror. You become the reminder. You become the ancestral voice they can't ignore. They think you're all love and light, until your silence turns surgical, until your energy calls judgment, until your presence becomes the storm. And still, you return to peace, because peace is your throne. But never mistake the throne for passivity. It is a seat of divine authority. The lightworker who mirrors. You do not always fight with words. You do not need weapons. Your mirror is your sharpest tool. When someone crosses you, when an energy steps out of alignment, when darkness forgets its place, you don't always speak. You reflect. You become the mirror. And in that reflection, they are forced to see their own vibration, their own manipulation, their own insecurity, their own illusion. This is a sacred power, one that only those who have mastered shadow and light can wield. You are not here to please. You are here to awaken. And sometimes, awakening stings. Because the truth, most people don't fear your light. They fear what it activates in them. The rage that protects the mission. There are moments, rare but sacred, when your rage rises. Not ego rage, not immature outburst, but ancestral rage. The kind of fire that lights up when the mission is being threatened. The kind of heat that burns through illusions, entities, and interference. This rage is not to be feared, it is to be understood. Because lightworkers who've done their inner work can call on their shadow with surgical precision. You don't live in rage, you call upon it when a boundary has been breached, when a cycle needs to be closed, when your inner child demands protection, when your soul says, enough. You don't get revenge, you get real, and when necessary, your fire transmutes timelines. They don't know what you've survived. They see the healed you, the radiant you, the peaceful, poetic, centered version of you. But they never met the version of you that cried alone in silence, the version that begged the universe for answers, the version that wanted to give up, the version that wrestled with shadow after shadow, the version that was spiritually attacked in the dark, the version that almost lost the mission. That's why you are so powerful, because nothing they say or do can shake what you've already overcome. You've survived storms that never made it to your social media. You've overcome battles no one else could have carried. And you did it not to boast, but to become. They don't know your past. They only see your presence. And even that humbles them. You didn't come here to be liked. Make peace with this. You were not sent to Earth to be liked by everyone. You came to break timelines, wake the sleeping, trigger the healing, expose illusion, anchor truth, shift collective energy. And that will offend many, because your energy is a disruptor. Your presence alone brings up all the things people aren't ready to face in themselves. They'll project, they'll avoid you, they'll call you too much, too intense, too serious. Let them. Your job is not to shrink. Your job is to remember. Remember that your softness is sacred, but your edge is earned. You are not a peace pusher. You are a truth bearer. The dark respects you. What many don't realize is that even the dark respects those who walk in full embodiment. You don't fear lower energies because you've faced them, negotiated with them, commanded them. Not because you are evil, but because you are whole. You understand duality. You understand how both light and dark respond to vibration. And the dark knows not to play with someone who knows who they are. You don't dabble in shadow. You master it. You don't provoke dark forces. You respect the laws that govern them and hold authority when they try to cross into your domain. There is a reason energy shifts when you enter a room. You are carrying realms they cannot interpret. You are protected not just by light, but by balance. You use your power for good, but make no mistake. You are a light worker, but not the type they think. You do not float, you anchor, you do not escape, you enter. You do not bypass, you bear witness. You do not sit in denial saying love and light when the house is on fire. You become the water, the extinguisher, and if needed, the storm itself. You use your power for good, but make no mistake, you have power. Spiritual power, energetic power, ancient bloodline power, voice of the ancestors' power, command of the unseen power. And while you choose love, you do not choose submission. While you radiate peace, you are not afraid to roar. While you walk softly, You carry the full force of your lineage behind you. This is what makes you untouchable in spirit. This is what makes the false ones whisper your name and retreat. This is what they sense but can't explain. And this is why those who underestimated you never forget what your silence taught them. The path of the true light bearer, you are not new to this. You've walked this earth many lifetimes, in temples and trenches, as a healer, priest, priestess, warrior, guide. Sometimes in full power, sometimes hiding in plain sight, sometimes hunted for your gifts, sometimes praised for them. This lifetime, you came to embody all of it. You didn't come just to hold light. You came to hold truth, to walk fully awakened, to remember that your softness was forged in fire, and your darkness has always been a loyal teacher. To be all love and light is not the goal. To be integrated is. To be whole, to be grounded, to be clear, to be unapologetically who you are. Final transmission for the one listening to this. You, yes, you, the one receiving this message. They think you're all love and light, but they don't know you've survived spiritual wars. They don't know your calm is earned. They don't know your ancestors walk with you. They don't know your guides speak through your silence. They don't know the sacred rage you've restrained. They don't know how many attacks you've deflected. They don't know how much darkness you've absorbed, mirrored, and alchemized. They don't know you carry the codes of worlds long forgotten. But you do. You walk with peace, not because you lack the power to destroy, but because you know exactly what destruction feels like. You chose peace. You chose light. You chose healing. But make no mistake, you didn't forget the dark. You mastered it. And that is why your presence shifts reality. That is why your enemies fall without you lifting a finger. That is why your energy can't be copied, mimicked, or mocked. That is why they sense you and step back. Because even when you smile, even when you love, even when you heal, they feel the storm behind your stillness. You are not to be played with. You are not to be underestimated. You are not here for their comfort. You are here for truth, for mission, for alignment, for divine remembrance. You are all love and light and everything they didn't see coming. Affirmation of the integrated light bearer. I walk in light, but I do not fear the dark. I choose peace, but I am backed by storms. I am gentle, but I am forged from fire. I am a mirror, a storm, a scroll, a sword. I use my power for good. But make no mistake, I carry the weight of lifetimes and the permission of none. I am not all love and light. I am all truth. Chosen ones, we now ask you, are you finally ready to walk in the fullness of who you are, light, shadow, and everything in between? Or do you truly know how powerful you are? Or are you still pretending to be just love and light? Please be sure to comment below, like and subscribe to stay aligned and connected to Source.